So there are some listeners who only love the world news. They don't have an ear for katha. They will keep on speaking about worldly things. It gives them so much of ras. And the other is the vrishab, the bull. In front of the bull, you put sweet things, it'll eat it. Put bitter things, it'll eat it. So some listeners, they will listen to anything. They will listen to Swamiji's katha, then they'll go on and listen for 1 hour to the news. So whatever they heard got neutralized. On the other hand, there are 3 pravar shrotas, superior listeners. So this is one of them is the shuk. The other is the chatak. And one is the hans. So, which is the shuk listener? The shuk listener is like the parrot. He listens and he imbibes it in the self and then can speak it out as well. Which, like the parrot has the capacity to memorize, they are listening with so much of care that they are literally by-hearting what they are hearing. You know, she was telling me that her daughter, how old is she? 7 years. After the lecture, they were discussing, and the daughter was telling mother, no, mommy, Swamiji said this, 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 this. And this is the shuk listener. And then there is the hans listener. The hans listener is a person who lives in the world, who is exposed to worldly things. But at the same time, they're selective. Like in front of the hans, you mix milk and water and place it. The hans will drink the milk and leave the water. Likewise, in front, the hans listener will only hear good things. If you start discussing office politics, they'll say, I've got a busy appointment. I have to go now. They'll excuse themselves. And then is the chatak listener. The chatak listener is so careful in protecting their mind, they will not even think of listening to anything except Bhagavat Prasang. So, Valmiki ji is saying, if someone's ears are like the ocean for your katha, and they listen with full mano yoga, reside in their heart, Ram. Factually, God enters your heart fastest through the ear. It's a fact. The fastest way of growing your devotion is through the Shravanam. And that is why it's such an important aspect of Indian spirituality. It's like the Shravanam that you all are doing right now. And receiving God's devotion in your heart. But then we have some other things. So Valmiki is going to keep on telling, you reside in this person, you reside here, you reside there. Let's see what else he has to say. So we'll repeat that 1 or 2 chopais and then move. Sunahu Ram ab kahu niketa jah basahu siya lakhan sameta.
Sunahu Ram ab kahu niketa jah basahu siya lakhan sameta.
श्रवण समुद्र समान कथा तुम्हारी सुभग सरिनाना.
जिनके श्रवण
The chopai reflects the yearning for bhakti. Your heart has to develop a deep longing for God. That is the essence of devotion. That deep yearning, a small reflection of it you see in the world. Wherever the mind gets attached, your senses yearn for that. If somebody's mind is attached to the child, then they yearn to see their child, to hear their child. If your mind is attached to a rasgulla, the sight of the rasgulla makes your mouth water. Now, in the spiritual path of devotion, we have to create that longing in our heart for Bhagavan. And the longing has to keep growing, growing, growing. That longing in Vrindavan is called lalasa. Mahaprabhu Vallabhacharya referred to it as sadhanhinata. When doing sadhana, all your sadhana is over and you have still not attained God, you realize your state of helplessness and simply cry out for His grace. That is sadhanhinata. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called it param vyakulata. Deep, deep yearning. Such an intense yearning, he said, that the whole world should appear void. Tears should constantly roll out from the eyes because the heart melts. And a moment in waiting should seem like an age long. That is the state of longing. Narad in his Bhakti Darshan says the same thing. Tad vismarane paramavyakulateti. Nimbarkacharya has called it nishreyas, the most auspicious thing. What is auspicious? That bhakti. And what is the prana of bhakti? The longing for God. Shankaracharya, in the path of Gyan, he referred to the yearning as mumukshutva, the yearning for salvation. That is the essence. If somebody would ask Ramakrishna Paramans, how will you attain God? Ramakrishna Paramans would give one answer: when you have an infinite desire to attain Him. So the yearning now should reflect in the longing to hear discussions of your Lord. That is natural. If you have deep love, you are never satiated. You are, and yet you are not. What does that mean? Bharahi nirantar, hohi na puri. When you hear, you feel fully satisfied. And then you want to hear even more. It's a dynamic state of satiation and further thirst. This is the nature of bhakti. So those who have that kind of longing, Ram, please reside in their hearts. Let us take one more. Lochan chatak jin kari rakhe, rahi daras jal dhar abhilashe. चातक जिन करी राखे, रहि दरस जल धर अभिलाषे। लोचन चातक जिन करी राखे, रहि दरस जल धर अभिलाषे। निध रही सरित सिंधु सर्व जल होहि सुखारी।
वेद रही सरित सिंधु सर भारी। रूप बिंदु जल होहि सुखारी।
तिनके हृदय सदन सुखदायक। बसहु बंधु सिय रघुनायक।
तिनके हृदय सदन सुखदायक। बसहु बंधु सिय रघुनायक।
जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम। जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम।
जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम। जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम।
जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम। जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम।
जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम। जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम।
ओ जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम। जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम।
जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम। जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम।
He now says, those whose love becomes exclusive like the Chatak. The Chatak is an astonishing bird which will only drink water from the cloud of the Swati nakshatra, the Swati constellation. It's willing to die of thirst but not drink any other kind of water. So Tulsidas himself has written poetry on the Chatak elsewhere. There was a Chatak that was flying in the air. He says, learn a love from the Chatak bird. One Chatak in the summer months was extremely thirsty. Months had gone by and it had got no water. The Ganga water was flowing below, but the Chatak was uninterested. Finally, it sat down on a tree. Ushnakal arudeha khin magpanthi tanu bhukha. That hot day, the Chatak sat down on the tree. However, it slowly, when it became normalized, realized that this tree has not been irrigated from the water of my beloved, the cloud of the Swati nakshatra. So it said, I cannot sit here. Impossible. Anajalasi che rukh ki chhaya te varugham. I will fly, I will die, but I will not sit here. This tree that has insulted my beloved. These are the sentiments of the poet. The poet is attributing these sentiments to the behavior of the Chatak. However, the Chatak was about to take flight when a hunter had sighted it. And the hunter released its arrow. The poor Chatak was hit by the hunter's arrow and it started falling down. Badhyo badhik paryo punya jal ulati uthai choncha. Tulsi chatak prem pat maratahu lagi na khonch. So the poor Chatak started falling, caught with the arrow. And as it was reaching the Punya Jal, the Ganga flowing below, the Chatak decided, this is not the water of my beloved. And it turned its beak the other way. In that jerk, it died. Its life airs left the body. But Tulsidas says, the Chatak's love remained nishkalank. So, this is the nature of the Chatak. Its love is so untainted by self-seeking that no behavior of its beloved can reduce it. When the cloud appears finally, the Chatak is waiting for it. And the cloud, instead of bestowing water, it starts having lightning, teasing the Chatak, and starts throwing hail on the Chatak. Pavi pahana damini garaj, jhari jhakori khari khiji, doshan priyatam rosh lakhi, tulasi rag hiriji. Tulsidas says, look, despite all that adverse behavior by the beloved, the Chatak's love remains unshaken. In fact, it starts singing a song to please its beloved. Now look, what kind of love do we have? When we have some self-interest, we come to the temple. Hey Bhagavan, hamari sun lo. When we don't have self-interest, time nahi milta, Swamiji, varna jarur aate. But in the case of the Chatak, it's no opportunism. And further, supposing you were to go to a temple, and when you returned from the temple, you found there had been a theft in your house. You'll say, what kind of God is this? I went to the temple and I had a theft. Bhagavan ki aisi taisi. All our love will evaporate because it's impure love. Pure love is that which can never be destroyed by the behavior of the beloved because it's for his sake. In fact, that is the definition of love, that God behaves adversely with us and still we continue to love. Why should he behave adversely? Because he wants us to purify our love and take it to the next stage. So that kind of inspiration we receive from the Chatak. Tulsidas says, those who have such unalloyed love, and with that kind of purity, their eyes are constantly yearning for darshan of the Lord, like the Chatak is yearning, like the dry earth. You know, the most celebrated month in India is the monsoon because it comes after the hot summer and the earth is parched. And finally, when the rain falls, as little children, we used to go out and dance in the rain. So, like the earth is eager for the water, likewise, if those devotees of yours whose eyes are longing for your darshan alone, my Lord, you stay in their hearts. So he's given us a few things. He's going to give us many more things. There's a lot to learn and be inspired in the path of bhakti from this description, which we have got 2 more days to complete this Ram Valmiki Samvad.